Welcome to the January 9th $500 Discord live stream.
Me and our editor, Knock, we absolutely battle this time. It gets crazy. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Welcome back to another classic Texas Card House live stream. First hand for us in early position, we got Ace Queen offsuit. Shrek opens before us to $30 over a $10 straddle, and it became clear to me very early on that he was opening way too many hands, so I definitely think Ace Queen is a great hand to 3-bet for value against him, so I 3-bet to $90. It folds around back to him, and unfortunately, he woke up with the Cowboys. He 4-bet, rips it all in, and already I'm forced to decide whether I want to stack off. Very first rotation of the session. I decide at this aggro table I can probably just wait for a better spot. Also, people are less likely to be bluffing early on in the session, so I just let it go and we're on to the next one.
We have a crazy action table to show for you guys today. I'm excited to get it started. Okay, there's a 1-3-6 straddle. Dub calls ace-8 offsuit. In the cutoff, I look down at ace-king in the button and put in a raise to $35. Folds back to Dub and he puts in a call. Flop comes 10 king queen rainbow, great for me. He checks and I put in a bet of $40 for value, and Dub, you know what? He comes along, he puts in the call. Hoping for some backdoors, he turns it the 8 of clubs, picks up a pair. I keep going for value, I go $75, and this time Dub does get a little suspicious. He puts in the fold, but we're scooping in our first pot to get the day going.
Here's an interesting one. We've got ace king offsuit in the +3. We opened to $35 over a $10 straddle. Corey in the big blind calls with ace-3 and Dub calls in the straddle. The flop comes queen 5-3 rainbow and it checks to me. I've got the best possible unpaired hand right now, so I might even have the best hand at the moment. I do something a bit unconventional and bet $15. This bet allows me to potentially take down the pot while only risking $15, as well as maintains the betting lead in position. Corey in the big blind calls with his low pair of 3s. It also keeps ranges wide, so I can barrel on a lot of turn cards and get them off, or I can get there on nice turn cards like an ace. Corey checks to me again, and now with top pair, I'm feeling good. Time to go for some value. I bet $60 and he makes the call. The river is a nice one. We drill trips. I'm almost certain I have the best hand here, and I'm trying to decide what sizing I want to go with. And while I'm thinking that, I look over at Corey and he's sliding in chips, $200 worth to be exact. Wow, this is kind of a weird spot. I don't expect Corey to ever really do this as a bluff. It doesn't make much sense at all to me. The question then becomes, what type of value would he actually do this with? At this point in the hand, I think a weak ace becomes more of a bluff catcher than anything else. So therefore, I don't think he'd lead with a weaker ace than me, besides maybe ace jack or ace 10. I also lose to a decent amount of sneaky hands, such as pocket 3s, pocket 5s, 2-4 suited, ace-5, ace-3, and maybe an ace-queen if he played it this way. Ultimately, I think my hand's just too strong to fold, but I didn't feel good about the call, to be honest. I flick it in, he shows me the bad news with the ace-3 offsuit, and we lose a big one.
What a cooler jack. Don't worry guys, he's gonna make this back and some. Okay, under the gun with ace king offsuit, Juanito raises to $15. I'm in the hijack with ace jack of hearts. We get a very strong hand. Sometimes I will call this, but I decided to go for a 3-bet against a looser opponent. I make it $50 to go. We want to get heads up with this player and with this specific hand. Folds back to Juanito, but he's not going to be putting in the call, making our lives easy. He's going for a 4-bet, and I am not going to be in there. I quickly fold to, I think it was like $160 or so, whatever it was. I fold. On to the next hand.
We've got pocket 9s in early position, open to $35 over a $10 straddle. Knock directly to my left, who I expect to be 3-betting me a lot. He opens the action back up to $100. Folds back around to me and $65 more to call with what's likely the best hand now. If I hit a set, I can likely stack him, and his raise sizing is actually pretty small. I make the call and we're off to a flop heads up out of position. It's 10-10-5 rainbow. I check to him planning to call a bet, but he checks it back. I'm a little suspicious now because I expect him to be c-betting boards way too often, so when he checks, it seems out of the ordinary. And the turn card is a 9. We bink a full house. I check to him in flow, hoping that he bets here, and he does $85. I've got 366 left in my stack, and I have to decide what I want to do. If I just call, it'll look really strong if I lead out on rivers, and also if I just call and he has a draw, if he bricks a river, he might not bluff back at me, so I think the best move here is a raise. But my sizing is a bit awkward as we went to a flop with about 1.5 pot size bets left. I decide the best move is to go for it all. I rip it all in, 366. He snap calls with his kings. I show him the cooler. We 2-outed him on the turn. We scoop in this pot versus the infamous Knock, and the Cowboys get shot down. Pow pow.
Knock is going to love editing that one, boys. Okay, it's time for my hand of the night. We see Nicholas open it up with Jack 10 offsuit to $20. Dub, the other action player, puts in a tray bet to $65 with ace queen of hearts, and we got pocket aces in the cutoff. Go for a 4-bet. Wait, no, let's get a little tricky here. I want Nicholas to play. I think a 4-bet's gonna look crazy strong. And like I said, I want to get in a hand against these action players. I just put in a call here, and everyone else folds except Nicholas, putting in a call as well. So going 3 ways to a flop, which comes 7-5 queen, 2 spades. What a flop. We have the ace of spades. Dub has top pair, top kicker. Checks to him. He puts out a bet of $125. Big bet. Because of the size of the bet, it looks like it's going to get it all in on the turn. I just put in the call here, not afraid of anything, and Nicholas puts in the fold. Going off to a turn card, heads up, which is the 2 of clubs. With 450 in the middle, Dub now slows down. I am not going to be slowing down. I go for a sizing that is going to loop in any pair, but also get it all in by the river. I go 150, and Dub snap jams all in. Can't blame him. I snap call though, can't blame myself. And we're going to a run out just one time. Can we hold as 95% favorites?
But it looks like they're gonna run it maybe twice? One time? Looks like one time. One time it is, and Frankie will get the clean double up through Dub.
Let's go. A little double up ski. Back to Jello, boys.
We've got King Queen of Diamonds in the cutoff this hand. There's a $15 open from Shrek. Being in position versus him, I would typically 3-bet this, but lately he's been showing he's not afraid to 3 and 4-bet like crazy. He's been doing that all stream, so I decide just to call here and play in position versus a crazy player. Knock on the button calls, or 3 ways to a board of Jack 10-4 with 2 spades and a diamond. A dream flop for me is I can make the best hand in a bunch of different ways here. It actually checks to me. I'm gonna take the betting lead. I bet $25. Knock makes a call with his pair of jacks. Shrek gets out of the way. The turn card is a nice one, the deuce of diamonds. We've got a million outs now, and I'm gonna continue betting. In game, I bet $60. I wish I sized up though to closer to the pot size bet to maximize fold equity against John. He calls for 60, and the river is a nice one, the ace of hearts. I make a super disguised nut straight, as it seems like all the draws have missed, but there's one that just got there. I continue, and I bet big $200. He thinks it over for a while and decides that his king jack is good enough for a call. He tosses it in. I show him the bad news, and we scoop in another big pot, keeping this session going well.
Jello, keep the binks coming. Let's go. Taking all of our friends' money. Come on now. Is that very nice? Okay, this happens just after the aces hand. We've seen open from Nicholas, getting the action started almost every hand with 10-7 of clubs to $20. We see Juanito in +2 going for a 3-bet to $65, attacking a pretty wide range. And now we see Alex, who just sat down, make the call. It's on me. $65 is a pretty reasonable price. That is probably one of the smallest 3-bets we'll see at this size game. And I've got 9-8 of hearts. I think a 4-bet would be just so beautiful right here, because what hand of these could really call a 4-bet? None of them. But guys, I go just for a flat call here. I want to see a flop with a very pretty hand in position of all 3 aggressive loose players. However, guys, this is a fold or raise spot in my opinion, and most of the time it should just be a fold. Gets back to Nicholas, and he puts in the call, so we're going 4 ways in a bloated pot. Let's see some hearts. How about it? Flop comes ace king 5 with 2 diamonds and 1 heart. Not the flop we want to see. Checks on over to me. I think it'd be too loose to bet. I just check. The free turn card is the king of hearts. We got the flush draw now, but Alex picks up trips, checks to him. He puts out a bet of $100. Again, I think that I should just fold one more time here, but I had just gotten the money from the aces hand, so maybe I'm playing a little too loose, trying to get involved. I think if I call, I definitely will stack Alex on any heart river, so I do put in the call. Everyone else folds. The river is no help. The queen of clubs. Alex still has the best hand. puts out another small little $100 bet. I quickly make the fold as we have no fold equity if we tried bluffing, and the gamble doesn't pay off this time. On to the next.
On these live streams, we typically play the three-deuce game, where if someone wins with the hand three-deuce, no matter how they win, everyone has to pay them $5 at the table. That's a total of $40 profit and a big ego boost if you hit it, so people go crazy when they get the hand. Here's an example of me stacking off with it when I pick up three-deuce under the gun. I decided to go for a sneaky limp here, with plans to potentially get devious later on in the hand. Knock limps, DGen Chris opens at $20. He gets 2 callers. I'm sat here with a great squeeze spot. Chris has proven he's pretty tight, so if I can get through him, I think I can establish a fold train, scoop up almost $70 uncontested, and win the three-deuce bounty. I need it. My soul needs it. I go for it. I limp raise to $105. Knock folds. DGen Chris thinks about it and folds, but then Nick eyes me up. I'm not sure what's going on, but his spidey senses must have been tingling. He jams it all in, about $300 total. Oh boy, I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar this time. I get a count just to make sure I can't call for sure, but three-deuce is probably not a good hand to do this with. I fold. He actually shows the queen jack, a little bit of rubbing in my face that he caught me red-handed. Nice hand, Nick. We wrap up the stream with an Omaha bomb pot that I scoop in to recoup some losses from the 2-3 punt. But don't worry, we're playing more hands after and they're featured right now.
Just like Jello mentioned, TCH Live is off, but here's where the real DGen action starts. It folds to me with Jack 10 offsuit on the button. I decide to give it a raise to $20. We got some 2-5 raise sizes. And just a big blind calls, it's our friend Nicholas. Heading off to a flop, heads up, which comes Queen of Diamonds, 8 of Hearts, 7 of Hearts. And he checks to me with the gut shot straight draw. I bet $35 and Nicholas makes the call. Going off to a turn card, which is the 4 of Hearts. He checks once again. I think this is a great card to quit betting on, give up right now. We only have that gut shot, but I make a mistake. I keep betting here. I really want to take this pot down, getting a little antsy, I would say, and I bet $45. Nicholas is a sticky player, and he once again makes the call. We're gonna need some help on this river, and how about it? Bang, 9 of clubs. Hit the nuts, and he checks to me. I think we make one more mistake. We go for a sizing of $100 because we really want to get value from any pair. I think we could still go bigger here, as Nicholas likes to put in a call and he likes to stand people up, and that's what he does here. He puts in the call, and we are good with the nuts. Never get to see what he has, but we scoop in another big pot. Off to the next.
Lights and cameras are off us, but they are still on the cards. And guess what hand we pick up again? Deuce 3 offsuit. And listen to what happens at the table right as I look down at my hand.
Make it more incentive, you know?
I'm okay with that.
Everyone cool with that?
Just to know, Jill, I'm calling you down if you have 3 deuce again.
It's something worth fighting for.
Yeah.
Yeah, $10 instead of 5. Yeah.
That's right. They just decided to up the 2-deuce bounty to $10 a person. That means if I can win this hand, I'll make $80 total plus a pot. That sounds nice to me, and immediately a new guy who just sat down opens the $15. I'm gonna hit him with a warm welcome and hit him with a 3-bet in position to $60. Folds back around to him, but he's not phased. He calls 45 more, and the flop, I honestly don't remember it, but it was random. We didn't hit it. He checks me, I bet 45 bucks. He calls. The turn, I don't remember it either, but we completely bricked it. We've got 3 high, and when he checks me, I can't win this bounty by checking. I bet 80 bucks here, trying to take it down, while also trying to make it look like I'm going for some value. He takes his cards and gives them back to the dealer. I hit the table with a nice
Pay up.
Oh my, what did I say? I just said that.
and we scoop in that extra $80 plus this pretty sizable pot. Very next rotation, the guy who I just gave a warm welcome to with the 3-deuce hand opens at $20. And I look down at aces. What a great time to pick him up. I 3-bet on the button to $60, folds back around to him, and he calls. The flop comes 7-3-4 rainbow. Surprisingly enough, he donk jams all in for $200. I'm not folding this hand. I call, and we're off to a run out. It's a deuce and an 8. No draws really get there, and I show the aces, and he mucks. We scoop in yet another pot. We're running hot. Let's keep it going.
Jack has been killing it. I'm trying to follow suit. We see Nicholas open under the gun to 15. The low jack calls, and I'm in the hijack with ace jack of clubs. I put in a little tray bet to $60. Things we don't want to see are cold 4 bets, but that's what happens. Big blind jams it all in for $211. We don't get to play with Nicholas. He folds. The low jack folds, and it's back to me. It's only $150 more to call, so I actually think I'm a little priced in here. We don't love it, but I'm getting about 33% pot odds. If he has a pair, we need to hit our ace. If he has ace king, we're gonna need a jack. I put in the call, and let's head to a run out. Come on, river. Nope, 7 of diamonds, and he flips over pocket kings. So yep, we were up against a high pocket pair. We made a loose call, but we had to because of the pot odds. Thankfully, we were already in the black. Jello, keep running it up, please.
Another crazy one against John here with pocket queens. The ladies on the button were $1,000 effective. Early position opens at $20. I 3-bet on the button to 65. Knock in the small blind now, cold 4-bets to $165. Folds back around to me, and I'm forced with the decision whether to call or to 5-bet. Being this deep, I decide just to make the call. Also, we're in position, and we're off to a flop, heads up, and it's king, king, 5 rainbow. It makes it a lot less likely he has a hand like ace, king, or pocket kings. And given our hand, there's no way he has king, queen either. He bets into me for $105. I'd expect him to bet this board with pretty much every hand he has here. I'm not going anywhere. This is a pretty good board, actually. I call and assess the turn card, which is a 9. He now checks it over to me, surprisingly. And at this point in the hand, I don't think betting makes a whole lot of sense. I'd like to get one street closer to showdown here. So I check it back, and we get a pretty nice river card. It's another 9, double pair on the board. He checks it to me yet again, and I'm almost positive I have the best hand. If he had a low pocket pair here, I'd expect him to actually bluff on this river because his hand just got counterfeit. If he has a hand like pocket 10s or pocket jacks, they're almost forced to call a bet here because of how under rep their hand is. I'm gonna go on the larger side here. He can potentially hero call me with ace high as well. I bet $350. Knock pats the table and tosses his cards back into the dealer. Wasn't having it. He folds, and we scoop in another pot.
Once your opponent checks the turn and the river, you can be pretty sure you have the best hand. So you have to ask, what are you trying to get called by? And I have to presume your opponent has ace high way more than they have pocket jacks or 10s. So given most players in this spot will fold to a big bet with a hand like ace high, I think you need to go for a relatively small bet. With a pot of roughly 600, I think a bet of $150 to $200 is going to be ideal against most players. As you start going bigger, like 300 or 400, I think you're going to start making ace high fold, which is the main hand you are really trying to get called by.
All right, boys, I lost a little bit in the air, but I made $423.
I ended the stream like up 300 or something, but after those 3 huge hands at the end, cashed out plus 1,000.
Let's go, boys. Make sure to leave a like,
Comment,
subscribe. Peace.